everybody. We got another very special guest for you this week. I want everybody to welcome to the show, Mr. Zack Kaplan. What's going on, Zack?
Hello. Hi,
Hey,
how are you guys
Zach.
doing? Hi.
Good, man. It's been a while. I think we were just talking. It's been almost, I don't know, probably over 2 years since you've been here.
That might be
Uh,
true. What's
and
been
you
going
definitely have a
on?
lot.
Nothing has
Nothing.
changed.
No, everything's the same. You got a new bookshelf.
I gotta do
That's about it. You bought more comics since the last time we talked.
boring stuff.
Uh,
Nothing new.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, you definitely have more projects out now than I think when we last talked to you a few years ago. Like you've so much stuff you've finished Port of Earth, right? Metal Society's out. Issue 3 we were just talking about. You got a new book coming out. It's awesome. It's awesome to see you doing all this stuff, and especially like because I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and I know that's where you feel most comfortable writing, right? That's
Yeah.
where you thrive.
Pretty much everything's been exclusively sci-fi up to this point. And I have been deep in the cave working on a number of things over the past year and a half, and it all just kind of hit this year, in a 4 to 6 month window. So it's exciting. It's been fun.
That's awesome. So let's talk Metal Society. Issue 3 just came out. Where are you with the story, or what's the premise for that for anybody that hasn't jumped in that book?
It's a 5-issue miniseries through Image Top Cow with Guilherme Balbi, Marco Lesko, and Troy Patiri, and it's a kind of a sci-fi fight drama that takes place in the future where robots and humans are battling it out to see who is more supreme or who is better. And so it's kind of like this very classic Rocky style fight drama, but it takes place in a future where robots have taken over the world and humans are gone. We blow our chance, and then robots bring us back to do the jobs they don't want to do. So kind of a flip on robots and technology are coming to take our job. The robots are afraid that humans are coming to take their job. So we just came out with issue 3 of that, and we're it's right along to issue 4 in the top of August, and then issue 5, and then it'll collect into a single trade. So it's a clean 5-issue miniseries. It's all about the drama building up to this fight. Issue 1 opens showing a little glimpse of the fight, and there's glimpses of the fight throughout the whole series. But then we're showing the drama and how we got to this fight and what's the build up, the high stakes world build up of the two fighters. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's on to the issue 4 is next month.
And I know it's through Image Top Cow now. Just for my own curiosity, how is that decided by Image, like through Top Cow, or like under the own Image title? Like,
well, it's a Top Cow. Yeah, Top Cow is the imprint, and that's Mark Silvestri's imprint. There are a few imprints that circle around besides Image Central. Skybound is another imprint.
Right.
Todd McFarlane has his own imprint, and the imprints pretty much form their own slate. I don't know the nuance that goes on between Image and each imprint, but I think generally speaking, an imprint usually has a certain level of freedom to decide what they're going to do, barring any. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Barring any. Barring any, controversy or something. This is my third series with Top Cow. Top Cow was where I got my break with Eclipse in 2016, and then went on to do Port of Earth with them, and just found a niche. Oh, good Lord. Look, the technology.
He's so busy right now. He has time to talk to us for like 10 minutes.
I have to turn those notifications off. Trying to sell me these things. No. I got my break with Top Cow, and just been had a lot of fun doing really hard sci-fi with them. And so Metal Society was a great opportunity because it's also hard sci-fi. It's like really deep world building. It's really kind of dramatic and character driven. And so it was just another chance to kind of follow in the pedigree of Port of Earth and Eclipse and do another book there. So yeah.
And that relationship, is it kind of like, hey, hey Zach, we're ready for another thing. You kind of pitch them the idea, and they're like, oh yeah, we want to do that, or they go to you and say, hey, we're looking for another sci-fi book. Like, can you
I mean, it's
drum
a
something
back
up?
and forth. I mean, with
Yeah,
Metal Society, we had talked about doing something else after Port of Earth. And for me, it's not just about, it's about finding the right idea for the right publisher and the right moment
right.
and the right
Hmm.
artist. And there's a lot of things that kind of have to align. And so, but yeah, when I had Metal Society and I kind of had a chance to like, delve into the story, I kind of said, this would be really good for Top Cow, and I brought it to them and said, "Hey, are you guys interested in this? What do you think?" And they loved it, and we went from there. And then we went off to put the art team together and found Gil Herme, who was doing Avatar and Alien. He did the Aliens original screenplay over at Dark Horse, which was super cool. And I just said, here's an artist that really understands sci-fi and world building and character
Yeah.
and really cool style. And Marco Lesko is doing colors on Blade Runner. You couldn't ask for something
Hmm.
better for a dystopian future book. So, and then Troy Pateri is just just a tried and true great letterer that I've worked with many times on sci-fi. So yeah, just putting the team together. I think these things kind of happen organically. Sometimes a publisher will say, "Hey, we'd love to do something with you," and you're looking for the right thing and looking for the right moment. So yeah.
So let's talk about. You said you were going to be doing something with Vault,
Well,
or
Mindset
yeah,
is my new Vault book. That's a mind control book I did with John J. Pearson, who does all of the art in that. And if you're not familiar with John's work, he won the Eisner last year for his digital artwork in Ram V's Blue and Green. And he's done
yep.
some short comics and Razor Blades and some other things. And his work is just amazing in mindset. And we've been really excited by the response that book has gotten. It's with Hassan Atzman Elahu, who's the letterer there, and yeah, it's a book about a group of uh, college grad students, and they accidentally stumble upon a light sound combination that can control people's minds, and they decide to put it in an app to do something a little different.
Of
They're going to help
course.
free people from their technological addiction, and they think they're going to help the world, and then it goes awry. First off, they end up going viral and getting like 1 billion people to start using their app, and there's all sorts of power plays and mind games, and then a couple of murders. And we meet our hero Ben Sharp. He's in jail, wanted for killing his investor, and he's telling us about how we got to this point. And it's really just a classic noir thriller mystery. You don't know who to trust, you don't know what's going on, as any good mind control story will explore. But it's through science fiction and through this kind of exploration of technology in our modern world, and how we feel about social media and how it influences us. And so I think it's a real thought-provoking book, and people have been really responding to kind of the modern kind of touchstones and how real it feels. I think everyone's relationship with technology right now is really quite loaded, and so people have been
Yeah,
responding
for
to that
sure.
book. Yeah. So yeah,
Yep.
that issue 1 just came out. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely
Hmm.
recommend going to check it out. And issue 2 is on pre-order right now. It'll be a 6-issue miniseries through Vault.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I read it last week, and it was just such a phenomenal first issue. Even though it's such a departure from some of the other stuff that you've done, a lot of your sci-fi, like you use the word hard sci-fi for Metal Society, that seems to
Yeah.
be like the wheelhouse you've been in recently. How was that departure for you on this one?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, Mindset is more grounded and kind of like it's our real world, but there's this very small, subtle sci-fi thing, and it's so coded into the allegory of mind control as technology and app use that you can't you sometimes forget that it's science fiction because it feels so
Hmm.
real. And so yeah, it was very different than like Port of Earth or Metal Society, where these huge inventive worlds with a lot of world building and a lot of history. But I had a great time really exploring the noir components and the thriller components, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I've used narration before, but this mindset uses narration kind of a whole different way, because you're really being brought into this character's head and understanding his perceptions. And so it's a very different, um it was kind of the first time I've used narration in that way. And so yeah, I loved it. I definitely would like to write more of this kind of grounded sci-fi that looks at our real world and in a more
It,
kind of one
I
degree
would say
off of.
more philosophical or something like that, kind of like with
Well, I mean,
technology.
like, I think people who have read Port of Earth or even Metal Society will find that there's a lot of philosophical undertones to both of those, and even Eclipse. I mean, I like to look at like thought provoking questions about society and
Hmm.
our place in it and where we're headed as
Hmm.
in our future. But I think Mindset's just a more contained story. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a little more feels like everyday life. And so it's not hard sci-fi in the sense of like some fantastical world or some really nerd out on some premise. It was just a little more grounded and everyday, and I
Hmm.
enjoyed it. I did think I'll definitely try to do more of that in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And working. I mean, I'm so pumped to see how Great Vault Comics has been doing as far as stuff they've been putting out. So, can you talk about that a little bit, like working with them and how that's been?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, Vault Comics is just such an exciting publisher. I've said it before. I like first discovered them at my first San Diego Comic Con in 2016 when I was over at
Yeah.
Top Cow with my first issue of Eclipse. It had just come out, and maybe it wasn't even out. Maybe I had an ash can, and they were down in small press, and it was their first table there. And I met Adrian and Damien. Just I immediately could tell there was something different and special about this publisher, and they've just
Yeah.
grown and exploded and produced so many great series with so many great creators. I had wanted to work with them for years, and we had talked a lot again, about finding the right project and exploring different ideas. And we had actually had conversations about other things, but I had been working on this with John, and I just brought them a look and said, is this interest you? What do you guys think? And they loved it, and they got our vision. And it was just really exciting partnership, and they've been great to they're just such a passionate team, from editorial
Hmm.
to marketing, the whole way across. They really just they love comics, they get behind it. So it's been a lot of fun to work with them. And I think the book has really found quite an audience. I mean,
Yeah.
Mindset is my biggest selling book so far.
That's so. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
so
thank
cool. Uh, yeah, I know. I
So
know. Chris and I specifically, when we go to the comic shop, I find myself pulling more Vault stuff and smaller publisher stuff than Marvel DC lately. Just for that thought provoking, different storytelling. And I
yeah.
mean, like Barbaric wasn't very thought provoking, it's like, or just that type of fantasy stuff. But it's like they're taking the leaps and the jumps to do that great storytelling, and I love it. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so
So
four different
yeah.
books you got. So we're going to talk about four different books, four different publishers. The next one was another one I really enjoyed, Breakout, with Dark Horse.
Yeah,
Yep.
So
thank you.
quick synopsis on that one.
Yeah, Breakout is a sci-fi prison break story. It takes place in a future where these mysterious cube-like ships have appeared all around the world, and they are only abducting young people between the age of 10 to 21. And our governments try to contact these ships. They try to attack these ships, and nothing works. And after a while, we kind of, as a world, as a society, give up and tell young people you just got to go back and live with the fact that you may get abducted at any point in time, and there's nothing we can do about it. And so in that
Most
way,
realistic aspect of that book.
yes, I mean it is. It's very. I mean that's the twist. The modern spin is not just an alien invasion story, or not just a mass alien abduction of only young people, but it's the fact that society kind of very like very modern. Just kind of says, "We sorry, just got to live with it." And the story follows a young guy, Liam Watts, whose younger brother has been taken, and Liam decides that he's not going to just tolerate it or live with it. He's going to get a group of his friends and put together a team and plan an Ocean's 11 style prison break to rescue his brother. So it's a fun sci-fi heist prison break kind of story, and definitely came out of me wanting to see a heist out of a spaceship, or I love heist. I love a good heist story, but had not seen enough of the advanced technology sci-fi, something that I could bite into. So that was where my head was at. But yeah, and it's a dark horse title. It's been just again another fantastic experience with a great publisher. I talked to them for a while. Specifically, editor over there, Spencer Cushing and Connor Knudsen, and we had wanted to do something, and found this project, and that again, just they were passionate about the story, and they just understood what we wanted to do, and I mean, the art team on this is just fantastic. Wilton Santos is just the art is another. I've been very spoiled with artists. Wilton just draws these amazing away. I mean, issue 3 is coming because it's the spaceship heist, and he's drawn this interiors of the spaceship. Just it's so cool. But then he draws these really heartfelt characters. I mean, when I see these characters come to life, I really feel for them and what they're going through, and the characters are just really modern and different. And Jason Wordie is the colorist. He just the colors are so good. I mean, it's got this really emotive painted vibe. Jim Campbell does our letters, and it's just really just fantastically it's just so smooth how it reads. So yeah, it's been a great creative team, and a lot of fun to do that book with Dark Horse.
Awesome. And one of the big differences of this book with a lot of your other books is you're writing teenagers in this one. Like, was that difficult at all for you, or how did you attack that?
I wrote teenagers once before in Lost City Explorers, and I do think, I guess, Eclipse has a teenager, the young girl who's in danger, Cielo, is maybe a little bit older, maybe she's 18 or 19, but yeah, I mean, it was, it's something that I enjoy trying, and it's definitely a challenge. And I think actually the tone of teenagers changes every few years. So, trying to write teenagers in 2016 is a very different experience than trying to write teenagers in 2022. And I'm sure, 5 years from now, teenagers will have a different voice and a different perspective. But I found it really interesting. I think just it came a lot out of me seeing what teenagers are going through in the world, and being confronted with all of these existential problems that we seem to be just kind of shrugging and saying there's not much we can do about any of this, and just passing it on to them. And it doesn't feel like what I was going through when I was a teenager. I don't think I had this level of dread or concern about the future in the way that I think teenagers do today. And so I think it really just came out of a respect for what's being handed to them, and a curiosity about exploring their point of view. And so I tried to tap into that in Breakout. It's obviously a challenge to capture it all the way, but I hope we pulled it off a little bit.
Awesome. And I'm excited to talk about the fourth one here, Forever Forward, your time travel book.
Yeah.
So let's talk that. What's Forever Forward?
Forever Forward is with Scout Comics, which I'm really excited to do a book with, because they've been they're another publisher that's just been killing it lately. And the premise here is it's about a kind of flawed scientist. He's a quantum physicist, and he accidentally launches himself the girl he's kind of always loved, and his three friends 33 years into the future. And when they get there, they find a message from their future selves saying that the only way to go back in time, only way back is to keep going forward. And the time travel that he's developed only can go forward. He does not have the ability to go back in time, only forward in
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're forced to continue to jump again and again through our future, hoping to one day find the technology to go back. And so in that way, I kind of compare it to like the mythic journey, like the Odyssey of like trying to make your way home and going through all these crazy worlds. And Arjuna Susini, who's the artist with me on this, and
Amazing
Brad
art.
Simpson.
The
Yeah,
art,
yeah, really
so
cool,
good. Oh,
so
yeah,
detailed,
yeah.
and then it gets even crazier. I mean, every issue, even the first issue, is really great, but we've only like put our toe in the pool because we really get to explore some fun, crazy worlds as the book keeps going into the future, and we're like building this story about what has happened to the future. There's a Russian invasion of California in issue one, and then we see like chaotic superstorms hitting the West Coast. But like in the future, there's like fascist robots and all sorts of crazy
Mm-hmm.
things that they encounter, and so creating those worlds with Arjuna and Brad has been awesome, and they're just really fun. It's just an imaginative ride and a gorgeous book. And I think it taps into me this. I don't know what your perceptions of the future are now or have been, but I feel like when I was maybe a while ago, I thought maybe our future like was going to get better and better. Like, I don't know if we were like headed for the Jetsons, but I felt like,
Right.
you know,
It'd be cool at least.
we're going to get some bumps in the road, but like we're on our way towards a good place. And
Yeah.
now I'm not so sure. Like, I'm not sure that we're on the right track. Like,
Right. Right.
um, I feel like there might be more than bumps in the next 50, 100 years, and I don't,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is as good as it gets. Like, is that possible that like this is the top and we're like at of the roller coaster of like civilization, we're like at the top right now,
Yeah.
and we're about to take
And we're about to
a
drop
spin
off.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just kind of the thought of like, is the future gonna get better or does it keep getting worse and worse? And that's kind of that, this book kind of, they're out of the frying pan into the fire. There are a lot of crazy futures that they go through, but it just comes from my concern about our future.
So, two quick things. I know Mike's biting at chomps to get something in here, but first, I
Oh, it's
think
all
the
good.
'90s was that peak, and we're already on the
Yeah.
way down. But second, I need to
True.
know from
True.
you, so I know how long to live. When do the fascist robots come?
Yes, the fascist robots. They come. I'm trying to remember the whole timeline. It's like the 2100. We won't make it to the fascist. It's like
Okay, yeah.
21.
Okay. We'll be
I think
gone.
I
they
can't
start
handle
to take
fascist
power in
robots. I can't do
21,
it.
21. I want to say. Yeah, a good 100 years from now, we don't have
Okay.
anything to worry about.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, if I was cryogenically frozen, it would just be my luck to wake up in a society of fascist
Fascist.
robots. Like they'll,
Yeah.
you know.
Why would they enslave? I mean, what we've learned, if anything, from our current landscape is that being enslaved, you always get the classic rebellion. It's really,
Right. Right. Yeah. You're
fascist
gonna fight back.
dictatorship that's
Yeah.
really the smooth sailing into human subjugation. Just so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you can convince humans that this is great. These robots, these robots really have our best interest at heart. Let's go back to the mines and get to work. Yeah, fascist
I
robots.
so a little away from the action of it, but I want to talk about time travel for a second because I'm a huge time travel nerd. And we've always, there's the cool thing about time travel to me is there's no set laws on how to write time travel. So I want to pick your brain about it for a
Yeah,
second.
let's
And
do
one of
it.
the one of the coolest interpretations I've seen is the TV show Dark on Netflix. And the way I think it's cool is because everybody talks about you go in the past, you fuck up everything in the future. That's okay, end of story. But what I like about Dark, and I think you're gonna maybe touch on this, but what you do in the future also affects your past. Like, and I mean, we get the glimpse of that. I'm not going to spoil too much for the issue, right? But uh, I hope, because you said you keep going in the future, so you're saying, and a lot of people don't focus on that. Like, the future is important, right? Just as important as the past, and I don't think people realize that, and that's not something explored enough because there aren't these. Yeah, like you can talk science with time travel, blah blah blah. You're in those constraints, but you can go anywhere with time travel, and it's like no, people don't focus on the future enough affecting how it all begins, right?
Yeah, I think that really was where my excitement was for this premise and this project, because I've seen so many time travel stories where we go back, back
Right.
to the
Hmm.
dinosaurs, back to
Yeah. Oh, we're
medieval times,
cowboys
back
now.
to
Yeah.
cowboys.
Yeah.
We always go
Yeah.
back. And then I've
Right.
seen the time loop time travel story where like someone is caught in the time loop, and their future
Right.
and their past self, and they're back to the
And they
future
can't
is
do anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
Back to the Future is a time loop, in order, like,
Right.
but
Hmm.
I I always look at the landscape of stories, and when I don't see something, that's something I get excited to see. And I just had not seen forward time travel, just exploring the future and what the future is going to hold, and that really excited me. The ability to travel forward in time is
And just keep
just as
going.
interesting. Yeah, to just keep going. And
Yeah.
could you ever get back? But two, what would you find if you keep going? And I mean, I think H.G. Wells' Time Machine actually explores. He goes 1,000 years or thousands and thousands
Right.
of years into the future. But it's an interesting exploration. So I wanted to look at it in a kind of initially a very grounded way of like what might happen in the near future and how might the future unfold in a way that readers would be like, this is so possible, this is so true. But
Yeah.
by the time
Right.
we get to our fascist robots, we go, yeah, that's I buy that we got here. Like this makes sense to me that we've evolved here and beyond, and just to kind of explore what the future holds. And then of course, yeah, and then in terms of your question about like Dark, uh, I haven't seen Dark, but I what you're talking about is kind of determinism and the idea that time is
Right.
all set, and
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
you don't go and like, not the butterfly effect, but rather that
Right.
everything has happened, and if you're jumping through time, that has already determined
It's
everything
already
in the past.
determined what's happened. Yeah.
Everything is
Hmm.
already set, and so your choices, even though you think you're making your choices, it's already determined. Everything is
Right.
set. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I find that very interesting. I find it very interesting that we have the perception of free will and free choice, and we're making these choices, and yet it could also be that we're so inherently programmed by who we are that
Hmm.
the choice we made was not free, it was determined by everything making us who we are. And so is it possible that time is singular? It's interesting. So yeah, we definitely have I think a bit more of a determined timeline set for Forever Forward. But the question is, what will happen? Do they find their way home? Do they not? And what's up with this message? And the character is kind of going through a question of like he wants to be he wants to discover time travel, prove it works, come back and be celebrated as like an Albert Einstein or a great scientist. And so will he be able to pull that off? So yeah,
The
it's
feeling I got from the first issue was, and when the explanation came out, this what came in my head too, was that Futurama episode where they keep going to the future until they hit the peak and then go back around.
yeah. I thought about that. I thought about that episode actually was when we were working on this. That is a good time
So good.
travel uh microcosm, that Futurama
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, and I think I mean, overall the story is exciting, but so you said there's a plan for it. Are you expecting to like, so every issue, are we gonna keep jumping, or are we gonna spend a couple issues and one feature go a couple issues, and
It is a
like what's the
5 issue. It is a five
oh,
issue
5 issues?
miniseries.
Okay.
It is contained,
Yep.
and so actually, I think each issue has more than one jump. I mean, it's
Oh,
a
awesome.
real
Cool.
fun, fast paced adventure story, and that while there are moments of respite, there are not many moments. I mean, they are pretty much jumping out of one situation into another, and each time having to deal with a whole new future. And they're hoping to one day find some perfect civilization that's going to say, welcome, and here's the time travel back home and everything's great, and
Right.
like,
Right.
that must be the case, because they're really plagued by the fact that their first jump, there's this message that
Hmm.
says if you can only keep going forward, everything's going to be okay. I mean, I think that they maybe wouldn't have gone on this odyssey if it weren't for that message. So
Right.
that
Right.
message has really propelled them on this experience. But it is a very fast paced journey. They jump a lot, and I think actually even the jumps. There are a couple periods during the series where they're almost jumping to insane levels of like,
Like
changing
multiple
channel
times.
jump, like we got to get
Yeah.
through this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome. And
And
that's come.
uh,
Yep. Go ahead,
go
Chris.
ahead, Mike.
That's coming out in August. You said.
Comes out August 24th. It's you got about 2 weeks left to order it. I think the last chance to order the book is July 24th or so. And so definitely, if you're interested in it, it's a Scout book. So, Scout, despite being an exciting publisher that's really making a name for themselves, not all comic shops. Some comic shops are all in on Scout lately, but there are some that may not be carrying as many of them. So definitely tell your shop, hey, I want this book, and pre-order it for me. Subscribe me to the series. I want all five. And but if the only other way to check it out, if you are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, I'm going to be down there with Scout, and we have the first issue printed a month early, ready to go. Not only that, it's got a John Giange cover. I might be mispronouncing his name, but he's a huge artist, great covers. Giang Giange, and he's going to be down there too. And we're going to have this exclusive convention cover by him. So definitely, if you're down at San Diego, find me, find Scout, and you can check it out.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's kind of the one of the last things I wanted to talk about was a huge fan of Scout. We've been supporting Scout forever. A bit of a smaller publisher, but like you said, exciting, doing cool things. What went into
Yeah,
the decision of working with them?
I, I think like, again, I had read some of the stuff that I really liked, and just thought they were doing cool stuff, and they were making just a really cool name for themselves. And I reached out and just said, hey, I love what you guys are doing, and you guys interested in working on something, and went from there. We talked projects, and I shared this idea, and they really liked it, and went from there. So and I again, it's like I try to think about what idea might lend itself to a publisher, and I think Scout is doing some great things in sci-fi fantasy. I thought something like this idea, which is a bit more bombastic and a little like bigger in terms of like the adventure vibe, like I think more like Black Science in terms of the adventure kind of sci-fi vibe. I thought that might do really well in the small indie kind of market, to like stand out and have this kind of fun adventure book. And so yeah, I mean, um it's really, all of these publishers are great. I've had good experiences with all of them, and again, it's really just about finding publishers that share your passion for an idea. You can share one idea with one publisher, and they'll go, you know what, this is not for us. We don't like time travel. Nah, I don't know about this. We're looking for something else. And then you find another publisher that says, we love this idea. We'd love to have this kind of thing on our slate. So, yeah, it's really just about finding people who share your passion for stories. But in terms
Hmm.
of, I was excited just about what everything Scout's been doing lately. I mean, Agent Dennis's new book, Agent of Worldly, is amazing, and I really love Charlie's White Ash, and Eric Palicki has been doing some really cool things. Atlantis, and I think Black Myth is Scout. So yeah, it's just there's been some really cool things coming out of there.
Agreed.
And
yeah. Anything else, Mark?
yeah, so let's talk San Diego Comic-Con. You're planning on going?
I'm planning on going. Are you guys going to be there?
Yeah. No, no, not this year. 1 year, but yeah, 1 year. So you're going to be chilling with Top Cow the whole time?
I'll be at Top Cow's booth. I'm going to do a signing with Mark Silvestri did one of our covers for Metal Society, which was just a dream come true to have him do a cover. And then we got Alex Sinclair to color it. And they will both be at the booth, the Top Cow booth on Saturday with me, and we'll be signing that cover. They have two really slick foil variants. Metal Society, we were like, man, how can we have a book called Metal Society and not have covers that are metal in nature? So they've got two two killer foil covers. One of them is the Silvestri cover, and so you can get it signed by all of us, and we'll be there with that on Saturday. I'll be at the Top Cow booth a little bit every day. I'll be at the Scout booth with this Forever Forward #1 exclusive convention cover. And then there is something in the works that is not yet announced, but probably will be announced the details soon. But we are cooking up something with Vault Comics and Mindset to work with someone else there who has exhibitor space and do a signing for Mindset with an exclusive convention cover for San Diego that has kind of been hinted at here or there. But all those details will be out any minute now. So I'll be doing Mindset signing down there. I'll be doing Metal Society and Forever Forward. Dark Horse does not have a presence this year at San Diego. So, but I will be at other conventions this year. I'll be at Emerald City and Rose City and New York Comic Con, and then later at the end of your Thought Bubble in England. So if you want to catch Breakout, there should be some opportunities to catch that as well.
I want to do Thought Bubble so bad.
Thought Bubble, awesome. It's my first one. I'm so excited. I've just heard great things about it. Yeah,
that'd be so cool. All right, well, great, Zach. I mean, man, thanks for being here again. You got to come back, guys. Too. I mean, don't wait 2 or 3 years this time. And our listeners, our viewers, where can we send them to follow you and all the cool stuff you're doing?
Yeah, I'm really across all platforms at Zack Caps, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can catch me at all of those, Zack Caps or ZackKaplan.com. And yeah, come see me at the cons or say hi, and reach out.
Awesome. Thanks again.
And everybody, make sure to check the show notes down below for those links so you can check out all the different books that Zach's doing. And Zach, thanks again. I've been really enjoying all the books. They're just all phenomenal. And then I also want to thank you for the nightmares tonight because of Robot Fascist.
Yeah,
thanks for
or the mind control, the apps are listening and controlling you. It's all.
I've gotten over that. I'm past that. That's years ago.
I've come to terms with that shit. Yeah,
I don't care if the apps are controlling me. It's the robots that.
The robots. Yeah.
The robots.
I'm just gonna have nightmares of playing Wolfenstein again, and then Robo Hitler comes out, and then thanks.
Robo
Hitler. I appreciate it.
That's good.
Robo Hitler.